Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show with Wild Turkey, the latest to release a formerly Japan-only export in its Wild Turkey 8-year, we clear up exactly what that is. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Jeff Andresi, Katie Joyce, and Joe Ferrara.
Hey gang, what's up?
Hi everybody.
Hey everyone.
Hey-oh, so this is more like a public service announcement. Maybe we'll get some sort of government subsidy for this show when it comes out. The government will reach out and be like, "That's really good public service, and we'd like to, send you a check for this amount." And I will gladly accept that. So we'll see how it goes, though. But yeah, we're just trying to help. So we'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, Katie said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Katie?
Yes, and it may have been discussed before, but if not, at least this is a different group that can answer this. And it was kind of a viral question for a little bit of if there was a fight of 100 men or a gorilla, who is going to win? And it's in there's no tools, so it's not like 100 men and they have rifles. But it's 100
this
men.
Was, yeah, I saw this. It was on fire like a couple weeks ago. Everybody was,
Yeah.
I think it depends. If the 100 men coordinated. Mm-hmm. And we're like, hey, someone's going to get hurt, but we gotta work together. If they just start trying to individually, that gorilla will just one by one systematically mow through all of them. But if they work together, I think they could win. So it just.
And then, what do you think is the best strategy for them working together?
Running away.
Surround. I think the best thing is to surround and keep closing in, and then whoever ends up on the back makes the first move, because obviously if you're in a circle around the animal, then you begin grabbing when you're from the back, because you're just gonna keep closing in and closing in and closing in, and then and if the gorilla makes the first move, like it leaps at the guys in front of them, the other guys at the back jump in and get it. So it's got to be a unified group though that jumps in. So. That's what I would say.
I don't know.
I think the 100 men will win.
I think the gorilla will win. Okay. I read somewhere a while ago that a chimpanzee is anywhere from 20 to 30 times stronger than a man. So this gorilla is probably 100 times stronger than a man.
Well, then it's an equal playing field.
Yeah, and I just think that it'll swat the people off with him.
Uh-huh.
And if you get him pissed enough, he's got bigger teeth than any man's got.
This is true.
I wouldn't want to go in first. I know that.
Right. I'd be at the back. Go ahead, you got it.
Coming in when he's tired. Got it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think would win, Jeff?
Well, I think I'm with you, Steve. With some coordination, I think the humans can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You saw those little punks on Seinfeld take down Kramer at the dojo.
That's true.
So, I think it's as easy as that.
Yeah, but the girl is probably smarter than Kramer.
It could be.
It could be. McNew, what do you think?
So just recently, May 28th was the anniversary of the death of Harambe, the Cincinnati gorilla. And the child that came into his enclosure is now 12 because it was 9 years ago. It happened 9 years ago. And he's 12 now. And I don't like justify bullying, but I do hope that kid gets bullied a little in whatever school he goes to. But that being said,
yeah. I blame the parents more than him. He's a little kid. Kids are gonna do what kids are gonna do.
It reset the world. The world's been shit since that happened. So I don't care about this kid.
Okay.
But I am Team Gorilla because why are we going to go bother him? Why are 100 men going to line up to fight a gorilla? Like, go grill something. You have better things to do. Go do the dishes for your wife or something. Go mow your yard. Why are we bothering the gorilla? I hope he stomps on all of you.
Maybe looking a little too deep into this, but yes.
Yeah.
And it's just a question.
Got a bone to pick.
Right. Okay.
Team Gorilla.
Fair enough. All right. Yes. I saw the best thing you could think of that is when they had the storm on the Capitol building, and there was all that angry mob, and they're slapping the glass on. There's like 5 people behind on the other side of the glass, and man, they're in a frenzy and stuff like that, and it had to be scary as hell. But finally they break the glass, and this lady decides she's going to climb through, and the officer just takes out a gun and pops her, and then everybody else decided they didn't want to be the next one to go
That's
through.
right.
That was,
it
was a one handgun and a mob of thousands, and they were like,
So those people in the mob are the people that think they can fight the gorilla. So I'm definitely Team Gorilla.
Those two. So, because that was my first thought, is if you can get just everyone to pile on top of the gorilla, I think the 100 people could hold the gorilla down.
Right.
But then John was like, "Who are you convincing to be the first 50 people? Because those people are going to die probably still. If it was those people in that mob, you might be able to convince them just to pile in."
yeah.
My plan, I think, would be I'm going to find a way to friend the granola.
Granola?
The granola bar.
It's a granola bar, yeah.
Granola bar.
Pull out a granola bar out of my pocket, and I'm going to friend the gorilla, and then it'll be gorilla plus me versus 99.
Oh, okay.
Then I've got a gorilla for protection. I'm good.
Yeah, I think exactly what Katie described there is though why the gorilla wins, because people be like, I don't want to be the first 50, I don't want to do that. And then the gorilla systematically takes them out.
Yeah, but you can't even put 50 people on top of the gorilla. You know, the gorilla is big, but maybe 15 people can surround it. The rest are going to be behind them saying, yeah, you got it. You know.
It's like pushing them.
Right.
Yeah. But do you want to die fighting unified, or do you want to just die being mauled individually? I'll be one of the guys at the front. I'll do it.
When you realize it's your only choice is to survive,
right?
I think the 100 can find a way.
Yeah, and you know, you hate to put any comparison to 9/11, but you know, think about that. A couple guys with just box cutters go in and take over the planes and do that, because people are like, I'm not going to do. But the ones that fought, they were able to divert them, and they ultimately didn't win and land the plane safely. That'd be the ultimate. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
But they prevented.
They prevented from you know. I guess where they're going to go after
the Capitol, I think.
Yeah. So, it's definitely would have to be a coordinated thing, like they did on that flight. So yeah, I would think you gotta coordinate. That's key.
Also, where are we finding the gorilla? Is he
the Bronx Zoo,
or is he like in a jungle and you guys are just assholes like thinking you like can take over a jungle? I hope you get your ass beat in the jungle, more so in the zoo because he's defenseless. Like you can't just
right.
That's like the people that
I don't think it works like you think here, McNew. I think it's bad people. They get the gorilla. First, they throw in a big the Roman thing where some sort of stadium, and then it's not that people aren't signing up for this. No one's be like, I'll be part of this 100-man versus. No, they're being captured and thrown in there too. This is a sick individual that sets us up. You're making it like these guys want to be in there. No, nobody wants to be involved in this.
Okay, so this is like the most dangerous game, but with a gorilla.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that documentary from years ago where the gorilla went up the Empire State Building and was knocking down planes.
Yeah, so that was a great documentary.
Yeah.
This is probably like the grandson of King Kong, so still Team Gorilla and gorilla.
Yeah. I understood that even as a kid, that it wasn't beauty that killed the beast, it was greed. I'm telling you, I knew that as a kid. It was bullshit. Just leave Kong alone. Just he'd have been fine. He was having a pretty good life where he was at.
He got to eat a human every couple of months, for a sacrifice.
Yeah.
They were happy with that. He was happy with that.
Yeah, life was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Joe. I think you went last time.
I have an old bottle of Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish bourbon.
Okay. Nothing.
Nope.
That was a blank. So
it's a well-loved bottle.
It's wide open right now. We'll have Jeff go next.
All right, I've got a bottle of Heaven's Door Homesick Blues, which is their Minnesota wheated bourbon whiskey.
Okay. Odd, but it was interesting. It was interesting. It's the lead, though. We did hear it, so that's the lead. McNew's next.
I'm going to go some piggyback rye.
That's
okay. Yeah, I think that's our leader right now. We'll have Katie go next.
Okay. I have for this episode's topic, I have Blanton's. That was their release in the Japanese market.
Okay.
Poor execution.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was holding a cat.
You did balance the cat. The cat seems fine too. McNew's still got the lead. I've got Dark Arts here finished in a California Cab cask. Let's see what we got here.
That was nice.
It was nice. Was it good enough, Joe? I'll let you be the judge.
On my end, it was louder than McNew's.
Okay.
But McNew had the base. So I think McNew won with that one.
Okay.
It was well-rounded.
We have to live with that. When we throw it to a judge, the rule is that judgment stands. So congrats to McNew. You won it fair and square.
Yay.
Cheers.
Ding.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, public service announcement time. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
Hello, this is Jeff from Iowa, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we have a PSA about Japan exports in whiskey.
Yes, we are. So, I get a great place because I have a shop and I get to interact with all different levels of bourbon fans, from newbies to people who've been doing it a while to people who've been doing it longer than me even. So, it's kind of a cool thing for sure. And, but sometimes you just see things that are, someone just misunderstands. And then you wonder, is this a large scale thing? Is there a lot of people dealing with this? And I had a guy come in, and of course we heard recently that, they used to have, I guess, 8-year Wild Turkey 101, and then became a Japanese export. So it was only available in Japan, or if you're traveling to there, you could get it, that type of thing. But then they recently announced, again, we got a kind of a whiskey glut going on now as times have changed. They've kind of caught up with demand and supply. And it's now a U.S. product again. And I had a guy in the shop telling me that he wanted to know if we had any of that Japanese Wild Turkey. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they got that Japanese whiskey. And I'm like, that's Wild Turkey. It was an export. He's like, yeah, the Japanese one. And I'm like, well, it's a Japanese export. It's not Japanese whiskey. That's two different things. And I had to explain it to him. And I don't know that I sunk in, though. I don't know that I ever got through to him. So that's why I wanted to explain to you guys. You guys know the difference between a Japanese export and Japanese whiskey, right? I mean,
I do.
I can promise you this is very much regular Blanton's I'm drinking right now.
That was for Japan only, so it's Japanese Blanton's.
I believe this is aged 2 years longer, if I recall correctly, from what they released there. But I promise you this is nowhere near the Japanese whiskeys that I have downstairs. I would probably be preferring to drink those right now, but this is very much a Blanton's.
It's Blanton's.
Yeah. Like the 8-year Wild Turkey is just Wild Turkey aged for 8 years. There's nothing, obviously they can't call it Japanese whiskey because it wasn't made in Japan.
Wasn't made there.
They didn't change like their mash bill either to say this is, it would be similar to how they would make, a whiskey in Japan. It's just Wild Turkey is what it is. But it was for the export market. It was like, we're not selling this here. We're selling it over there. So they've got something unique and special and a little bit different. Yeah.
So really the only difference was the longer age, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Than what they would sell domestically.
Yeah.
I think you needed to say to him that Wild Turkey makes it here and they export it to Japan.
Right.
Same way you get certain bottles in certain states in the United States that is on a country level. That's what they released in that country.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to sit down and go back to the basics to be like, here are the rules of bourbon. It is made in the United States. Here's the rules of Japanese whiskey. It is made in Japan. You see how this product is not Japanese whiskey, right? Like, you got to go back to kindergarten. Bourbon kindergarten is where you got to take this man.
Yeah.
I could see that in the marketing, though, if you weren't paying attention, how people could get confused. So I think it's definitely deserving of a PSA that because people just hear it and make those assumptions, and it's not.
I think you should have just said they have it at Total Wine and got rid of it.
Yeah. You have to. I do some videos for YouTube and stuff like that, and by God, you can never say anything against a customer.
No, I know.
I'm saying I say it all the time. I get angry at people for shit that they do. They come in, they want plans and all that. If I say stuff like that, people will be like, you should be kissing the ground that they come into your store, and thankful that they're even there. I'm like, you can still get annoyed with people when they're being a jerk in your store. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. Yeah.
Well, if you didn't spend any money, you can't get annoyed.
Right.
He just took up your time.
Yeah. And it's also unteachable people, right? So like I think you always try to like educate people and be like, hey, that's not really a thing. It's called this because of this, when they're just absolutely no, and they don't want to hear it. Like,
right.
Okay, fuck you then. Like it's exhausting. So people need to be teachable, and then we have more patience for them.
Yeah.
I think it finally sunk into him that he can't get Weller or Pappy walking into a store anymore, so he's going on to the next level. And he figured this might be something he can find.
Maybe, yeah.
So, Steve, did you talk him into trying something else?
No, because he wanted that. He wanted the Japanese Wild Turkey.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, but my point too is once they begin selling it in the U.S., which they do have an 8-year Wild Turkey now, There's nothing to Japan tied to it anymore. It's no longer just a Japanese export or anything like that. It's just 8-year wild turkey.
That's just 8 year.
He's looking for you're looking for the 8-year wild turkey. You're not looking for the Japanese wild turkey or anything like that. So yeah. So there you go. Hopefully, if you were confused by that, you're now. This is sometimes things you have confusion about stuff because you're afraid to ask it, and then you just never get something clarified. So hopefully, this helps somebody out there.
I will say though, the people who act that confident and it's hard to explain, and then like it gets that level. Definitely in situations makes me hesitant to even ask in the first place, because I'm a person who will like know it, but then go in with less confidence in this type of thing than overly confident. And so it gets almost to a point where like I'm like afraid to ask because I don't want to seem like a person who's like misstating it and then it's coming across wrong. So I think as well, I've always found that people, as long as you are approaching the conversation humbly, that I've never actually had an issue, even though it can be a little scary to ask about things, that to have that, I think that's the beautiful thing about whiskey people is that they love talking about aspects of it and learning from each other as well. When both
most whiskey people are like you're saying, but this is a guy who's insisting that this exists.
Right.
Yeah. And I agree, Katie. I want people to ask questions. I think people should ask questions because that's how we learn. But if you're asking, you have to be teachable. You can't be like, nope, this thing exists. And I'm like, it doesn't. That's like banging your head against a wall. And like, I would rather just not talk to this person. It's frustrating.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I'm not even sure that 8-year wild turkey is even in the state yet. So you got to kind of ask that question too. I don't think we have it in Missouri yet. So, he can drive around all day and he's not going to find it. I mean,
yeah, that started to become available in April,
right?
But I don't know which states it's in.
Yeah, it takes a long time for these things.
But
typically.
If you're that naive, do you know that like, is he aware that like different states don't always get everything? I don't think that's like even his wheelhouse to be a thought. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, you just try to do your best and be a good person, and hopefully, things work out. But
educate. You're being a steward, Steve. You're being a steward.
Yeah, you can't win them all though. So you just try.
Win them all.
You just got to try. So there you go. On that note, we're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jeff, we're starting with you. Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and the Cigar Dojo, Jeff Andreezy, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
All right, Katie.
You can find me over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
Joe.
I'm on Instagram at bourbon_aficionado.
All right, McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Also, come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Finance, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.